So this video is a tutorial to show you how to cut and tip your spiral steel boning to prepare it to put it into your corset. If you just had a few general questions on the nature of spiral steel boning and where to put it in your corset, I addressed that in a different video, my introductory video, so I'll link that right up here. Without further ado, let's get started. So how do you cut spiral steel boning? There are a couple ways that you can do it. One is not really by cutting it at all. What you can do is just put it in a vise. If you have a proper vise, that's fine. Right now I'm just going to be using pliers right here. And then you can bend it back and forth like this, either with your hands or you can also just use a hammer. Here's my teeny tiny hammer, and you can just like whack it back and forth several times and it will eventually break. So okay, so here it is after all the bending back and forth, and you can see it's actually a little bit mangled and it does take a little while, so that's not my favorite thing to do. What I generally like to do is just cut it with some snips. You might remember from my other video on how to cut flat steel boning, these tin snips here. I don't really use these to cut spiral steel boning just because spiral steel boning is so much more flexible. It really mangles it. Let me just show you how much it mangles it. It's more likely to bend like how you see here as opposed to just cutting. You see that? It's not really the best thing for it. What I like to use instead of those tin snips are these little wire cutters here, and the smaller they are, actually the better they are, because since these are, you know, coils that are going round and round and round and round, if you can just snip one of those really tiny spirals right at the edge here, then it will be able to cut right apart. So let me see if I can do it properly. And you can see that's one side, and now the other side, and there we go. So that's a clean cut there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to tip the spiral steel boning. If you remember in my flat steel boning preparation video, what I had done was I filed down the edges and then I wrapped Teflon tape around it. You can't really do that with spiral steel boning because the wires are so small and pointy. There's no real amount of filing you can do to get that really blunt. So what you need to do is actually just use these tips here. So they're metal tips, and they're made out of a softer type of metal than the spiral steel boning. It's usually made out of aluminum or tin so that it's pretty flexible and you can squeeze it pretty easily. So what you do is you take the bone and you slide it over like this. Make sure that when you buy your tips that they're the right size for your boning, because boning comes in 5 millimeters, 7 millimeters, 11 millimeters wide, and you need to buy the tip that corresponds to that. So anyway, you take this and you slide it right on, and now you need to secure it on. So the tools that you need to tip this are 2 pairs of needle nose pliers. I actually don't have 2 pairs of needle nose pliers, so I have one normal pair, and then I also have a pair of hemostats, but it basically works the same way. So the first thing you do is you have your tip and then you slide it on there and just keep it there like so. And then you take one pair of your pliers and you hold on to it. You clamp it down like so. And then you take your other pair and you stick it in the center, and then you press down on it as hard as you can. And you should be able to feel the metal of the tip crush underneath it. So now, as you can see, the top of it, the very tip of it, is secure, but you also want the sides to be secure so it doesn't slip out. So you take your needle nose pliers once again, put one of them on each side, and then squeeze them down at the same time, like so. And as you can see, that's not going anywhere. You can also apply the tips using a press as long as you have special dies like what I have here to be able to press the tips down in it. So once again, you just take the tip and you push it down, and what you do is you put the tip of the boning right in that hole there. And what the die is going to do is these two sides, the metal is going to prevent the tip from splaying outwards sideways, while this top die, when it comes down, it's going to put even pressure on the sides and the top of the tip so that it secures itself onto the tip of the bone. Put it in, press down, and you can see it's not going to come off. So if you buy these metal tips by the gross, that's 144 pieces at a time, you might have a lot of these left over even after you've finished all of your spiral steel boning. One advantage is that you can actually use these to tip any other sort of boning as long as they're the same width. So I can actually use these metal tips here to tip my white flat spring steel boning instead of filing them down and wrapping them in Teflon tape like I usually do. So that is one advantage of having so many of these metal tips. Please be aware that if you're going to be securing the tips on boning using a press like this and these dies here, they're only going to be able to secure tips on 1/4 inch wide boning. It can be spiral steel, it can be flat steel, it doesn't matter as long as it's 1/4 inch wide, so 6 millimeters wide. If you have boning that is 8 millimeters wide or 11 millimeters wide, it's not going to be able to press it because it's not going to be able to fit in that groove. You're going to have to use other dies, or you're just going to have to secure it using the plier method. So I hope this tutorial was fairly painless for you. If you have any other questions on how to prepare spiral steel boning, please leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back to you. Or if there are any other corset makers out there who know of other methods on how to cut or tip your spiral steel boning that you think is easier than the methods I demonstrated here, I'd also love to hear them. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.